When trust dies in a marriage, it doesn't collapse all at once. It erodes slowly, like sand slipping away with every tide. Looking back now, I can see the cracks in my marriage to Rachel long before the night that broke everything. But that night lit everything up in firework bright truth. It started innocently enough. Rachel and I had been married for 7 years. We weren't wealthy, but we made do. Every summer, her family hosted a barbecue, a big, messy, joyful reunion where everyone brought food, kids ran around with sparklers, and the night usually ended with fireworks. It was one of those traditions that stitched families together, and for years, I looked forward to it. This year, Rachel told me it wasn't happening. She sat me down one evening, her face painted with practice exhaustion. "Listen," she sighed, "my mom says it's too much this year. Everyone's broke, travel's too expensive, and nobody has the energy to prep. So no barbecue." I nodded, trying not to let the disappointment sink in too deep. Times were hard for everyone, I thought. Still, I couldn't help but feel that familiar twinge of loneliness. I had grown up without a big family, so her reunions had always felt special to me. That Saturday night, instead of the smell of grilled ribs and laughter spilling to the summer air, I found myself alone in the backyard. I tossed some leftovers from the fridge onto the grill, half-dried chicken, a couple of sausages. I cracked open a cheap beer and tried not to think about how quiet it was. But silence has a way of pressing on you when you already suspect something's wrong. Later that evening, scrolling through my phone, I noticed a notification from social media. Rachel's friend Marcy had gone live. Out of idle curiosity, I tapped the stream. The screen lit up with music, laughter, flashing lights. A wide shot of backyard strung with fairy lights. Tables loaded with food, coolers stacked high. And then, unmistakably, the sound of fireworks cracking against the night sky. It was the barbecue. Not canceled. Not too broke. Not too tired. It was happening in full swing. Without me, my stomach twisted as I watched the camera pan across familiar faces. Her cousins, her siblings, her parents, everyone was there. The people I had been told couldn't afford to come. Then I saw her, Rachel, smiling wider than she had in months. A drink in her hand, laughing with a group of friends. And then came the gut punch. Standing beside her, too close, was her ex-husband, the man she had sworn she barely spoke to anymore. Their bodies leaned in toward each other, casual but intimate, like gravity was pulling them together. Someone shouted a joke off camera, and he wrapped his arm around her shoulders. She didn't pull away. She leaned in closer. The comments on the live stream scrolled faster than I could process. Looks like old times. Rachel and Dave back together? Eyes. Best barbecue ever. I dropped my phone like it burned me. The smell of charred chicken hung heavy in the air. Suddenly, my small grill, my lonely beer, the quiet backyard, it all felt humiliating. I wasn't just excluded. I was erased, lied to, betrayed. The next morning, Rachel came home smelling of smoke and perfume. She carried herself lightly, as if she had spent the evening somewhere innocent. "How was your night?" she asked, her voice almost sing-song, like she already knew I'd spent it alone. I stared at her, words caught in my throat. My phone was on the counter, the stream still saved in my notifications. I tapped it, turned the screen toward her. Her smile dropped in an instant. "You lied to me," I said. My voice cracked but didn't waver. "You told me it was off. You told me nobody was going. And there you were with him." Her face twisted through a storm of emotions, shock, anger, guilt, then that defensive sneer I had grown to hate. "You weren't supposed to see that," she snapped. "I didn't think you'd... God, you're so dramatic. It was just a party. Just friends. Just friends." I repeated, my voice low. "With your ex's arm around you, with the whole family pretending I don't exist? Do you know how pathetic I felt grilling leftovers alone while you were out there celebrating?" For the first time, she didn't have a comeback. She just stood there, lips pressed tight, eyes darting everywhere but mine. The truth is, her betrayal wasn't only about another man. It was about deceit, about being deliberately shut out of life I thought I belonged to. about being told I wasn't worthy of a tradition, the family, the celebration. She had chosen to humiliate me, whether she admitted it or not. That night was a breaking point. I packed my bags, not loudly, not angrily, just with quiet resolve. Rachel tried half-heartedly to stop me. Empty words, weak excuses. But the damage was irreversible. When I closed the door behind me, it wasn't just my marriage I left behind. It was years of being second choice, of doubting myself, of forgiving lies I should never have ignored. In the weeks that followed, stories trickled back to me. Some family members reached out, ashamed of what had happened, admitting they felt uncomfortable seeing Rachel and her ex so close. Even her father called me once, his voice heavy with regret, telling me, "You deserve better than what she gave you." Maybe I did. Maybe I should have seen it sooner. But sometimes it takes fireworks exploding in the night sky, broadcast for the world to see, to finally illuminate the truth. Rachel thought she could dim the light on me, cast me aside while she played at old flames and hidden parties. Instead, she burned the bridge herself. And me? I learned that grilling leftovers alone in honesty will always taste better than feasting in the middle of a lie.